Today, it would just be faster to build a list of CEOs who are not dumbasses. This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint. It's December 4th on recording day, and it's a glorious time for video games.
Metroid Prime 4 is finally out. Somehow Routine is finally out.
The Night Rain DLC is finally out.
I don't know if you can use finally like that when compared to Metroid Prime 4 and Routine.
Have you seen the new Undertaker character class?
No. I see why you've been impatient.
Yeah.
One thing about being off for several weeks is that you have a lot of time on the CheckPoint yacht to work on your winter tan. Another thing is that the news moves very fast. Remember Subnautica? The underwater base building simulator that also generates unheard of levels of shitted pant? Its second sequel, confusingly named Subnautica 2, is currently being held up in development by new owner Krafton because lawsuits. We talked about this on CheckPoint previously, and I'll not go over it right now, except to say that since they are now in lawsuits, this is when lawyers start crafting strategy and it's submitting pretrial briefs. And those briefs can be bizarre. The ousted Unknown World studio heads allege in a recent pretrial brief that they were only fired because Krafton CEO Chang'em Kim was desperately trying to find a way to not pay them their acquisition bonuses to avoid professional embarrassment of being seen as overpaying for the studio. The brief also alleges that Kim even used ChatGPT to try to dream up a strategy. I'm sorry. Statistically arrange words to conjure up what at a distance looks like a strategy to, break a contract. But hey, that's just allegedly this and supposedly that. Krafton vehemently denied the ChatGPT accusation, calling it a distraction. Because after all, using ChatGPT to make decisions worth oodles of money, that would be a professional embarrassment. And Kim definitively countered the allegations that he relies on a tarted up Markov chain generator to captain a ship worth billions of won by saying, "Oh, fuck yeah, bro, I always talk to ChatGPT at work." Kim went on to explain that he talks to all of his teams, then goes to ChatGPT to ask for faster answers, which I'm surprised actually. If what you want are fast answers, you could just tell your employees to answer you immediately without bothering to think. I mean, that's what ChatGPT does as well. It doesn't think anything. It just arranges words at you. And you're already paying those employees, but if you don't value their work that much, I'm surprised you keep them around at all. Oh, I see. Anyway, during the deposition, Kim admitted to deleting his relevant questions from ChatGPT because he learned that, quote, if you use certain important information concerning your company, then that type of information can be used by OpenAI for learning purposes. My man, take this as a learning purpose. Stop asking ChatGPT for stupid answers to snappy questions.
Nvidia has announced in a memo circulated to analysts that it is unlike Enron, and that its behavior, quote, does not resemble historical accounting frauds. The memo comes as a response to posts on Substack and X, formerly Twitter, the Everything app, by Michael Burry, accusing Nvidia of masking an AI bubble. Burry, if you're not familiar, is one of the first investors to predict and subsequently make a shitload of money during the subprime mortgage crisis, and was played by Christian Bale in the 2015 film The Big Short. Before you ask, why yes, Burry did short Nvidia and Palantir this year. He also shorted Tesla, which hasn't worked out yet. Chat, is this good? Is it good when the world's most valuable company with a market cap exceeding $4 trillion makes a point of responding to a subtweet? Is it also good if that reply comes in the form of a my behavior does not resemble historical accounting frauds t-shirt has people asking a lot of questions already answered by my shirt post? $4 trillion is so much money. What happens if something happens to that much money? Has anyone else shat their pants in terror? Because someone else shat my pants and we're all trying to find out who. Burry replied to the memo in another Substack post clarifying that he didn't even mention Enron. His comparison was to Cisco, which banked on exponential demand for hardware during the early dot-com boom and was left holding the exponential hardware bag. Come to think of it, yeah, it is weird that Nvidia immediately compared themselves with Enron and historical patterns of fraud. Why did you go with that, Nvidia? I'm suddenly extremely cold. Is anyone else really cold all of a sudden? I might throw up. Dudes, you are worth over $4 trillion. What do you mean AI companies make up 30% of the value of the S&P 500? That's so much money. Oh God. Okay. Maybe this is fine. Let's read a little further. How exactly are you unlike Enron? You have, quote, not attempted to conceal debt and are not distorting your sales. That's weirdly specific and kind of narrow. Worryingly so. I'm going to need to make some phone calls in a moment. Burry's specific claims are that Nvidia's deals with AI companies are circular, and that there is a ridiculously small demand for AI tools, and that their new extended hardware depreciation schedule artificially boosts earnings. What does that mean? It means, don't worry, kitten. In fact, you should buy some more H100s. Is Burry right? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. He's had mixed results since 2008. Nvidia seems freaked out, though, so I guess we'll also find out if A100, H100, L40S, and H200 GPUs are effective for splitting firewood, fashioning makeshift sandals, or grilling strips of crudely hacked venison.
Celebrity appearances in video games are commonplace, but the latest elusive target mission for Hitman, World of Assassination, offers something different. Eminem hires Agent 47 to murder Slim Shady, who's taken over the asylum to which he was committed and turned the staff and fellow inmates to his insane cause. The player navigates a surreal environment that slips between hospital, concert hall, recording studio, and, of course, battleground. Most of the celebrity missions in Hitman have required the player to kill the celebrity, but a recent collab with the late Bruce Lee offered a team-up instead. In the Eminem mission, you get to do both. But I'm not convinced that players will get more of the experience than Eminem himself. The passionate speech in the trailer pleads with the player for help destroying Slim Shady after many failed attempts. Is that an enticing sales strategy, or did Eminem manage to project his biggest struggle in therapy into a professional crossover project? Millions, indeed thousands of people will participate in killing the darkest part of the rap icon's persona. Will this cultural moment cement that same victory for Eminem? And most importantly, what does Marshall Mathers make of all this? However you feel about the new Hitman mission, don't stan!
We've been doing this an exceptionally long time, and we're used to CEOs providing politician-level non-answers to direct questions. But Steve Bazzucki, CEO of Roblox, put on a master class of shameless responses in a recent interview with New York Times podcast Hard Fork. When presented with the question, "How do you think of the problem of predators on Roblox?" Bazzucki replied, quote, "We think of it not just as a problem, but an opportunity as well. How do we allow young people to build, communicate, and hang out together? How do we build the future of communication at the same time?" Look, man, it's clear CEOs are essentially Martians when it comes to their similarity to human beings, and I get that shareholders prefer it when you put a buzzy, positive spin on things, but free PR pro tip: do not respond to a question about how you're handling an infestation of child predators by referring to the situation as an opportunity. This whole interview is weird and vaguely confrontational, despite Bazzucki's repeated and post-mortem insistence that he was having a good time. At one point, co-host Kevin Roos asked about Hindenburg Research, the stock market short seller that published the infamous Roblox is a pedophile hellscape report that we keep referencing here at CheckPoint. And despite being teed up to address, so what did Hindenburg get wrong, Bazzucki instead says, first off, Hindenburg is no longer in existence, correct? So you should report on that. Sure, David, Hindenburg wrapped up in January of this year, according to a statement from their co-founder, because they had accomplished everything they set out to do. I would assume their business model also wasn't working as well as they had hoped, or they would have kept doing it. And it's also just possible that Hindenburg founder Nate Anderson is himself a deeply weird CEO, as he finished this statement with the following postscript, quote, "If you are chasing something you think you want or need, or are doubting whether you are enough, take a minute and give this a listen. It had a big impact on me at a pivotal time." Before linking to a 2-hour EDM DJ set from Bali. Everyone is weird here. And also, to bring it back to the Roblox thing, Hindenburg wrapping up doesn't suddenly mean their reporting is wrong. Later in the Hard Fork interview, when pushing back on the notion that Roblox is a place where predators go to find kids, Casey Newton stated directly, "You don't think you have a problem with predators on the platform?" To which Bazooki replied, quote, "I think we're doing an incredible job at innovating relative to the number of people on the platform and the hours in really leaning into the future of how this is going to work." That's not even a coherent sentence, David, let alone a response to, are there pedophiles using Roblox? It's important also to highlight that the hosts of Hard Fork understood Bazooki to be there with the express purpose of discussing Roblox's new age gate detection face scanning systems, but that he thought they'd be discussing fun stuff like how he wants to add a prediction market to the game, so kids can get started on sports betting early.
The modder who brought you cinematic dragon boss fights against Thomas the Tank Engine in Skyrim is at it again, and this time he not only knows exactly how prickly that legal thorn bush is, he's jumping into it head first. Modder Kevin Trainwiz Brock was aware that Mattel, who owns the Thomas brand, wasn't pleased about the beloved anthropomorphic conveyance appearing without license in any video game, and in Brock's own words, they pretty much wanted him dead as far back as 2019 when he initially shared the fallout from the Skyrim mod in an interview with The Face. He specifies in that same interview that Mattel's biggest complaint was Thomas blowing up at the end of a boss battle, so maybe this time around Kevin will choose to only mod Thomas as an invincible NPC or background animal. Nope! In a new mod for Elder Scrolls Morrowind, the optimistic cerulean locomotive will be taking the place of Cliff Racers, a winged jackass that threatens the player character in almost every region of the game. Anyone using this mod will be hard-pressed to not explode Thomas the Tank Engine if they plan to play through it, although it's still not too late for Ringo Starr's Twitch career to get started, and a pacifist run could really get some views. As for Trainwiz, he posted on Blue Sky announcing the mod and letting us all know that he isn't intimidated by corporate lawyers, saying, I am incapable of learning lessons whenever it involves corporations because I fundamentally do not view toy company CEOs or media CEOs as people. Go off, King. He further expounds on Nexus mods that, quote, I will do this no matter how many legal threats, actual threats, black vans with the Mattel logo on them, or severed Barbie heads are mailed to me. Our society craves heroes that will speak truth to power, but in their absence, we will delight in brave souls honking train horns to boardrooms. Toot toot!
It's good to be back on and doing what CheckPoint has always done, confirming that business executives aren't really human.
Is that what we've always done?
I would argue yes, but we might not have realized it at the time.
Coming up, after 8 years of stretching the definition of beta and just 17 days after the release of version 1.0, someone has finally escaped from Tarkov. Congratulations to streamer Tiggs on the accomplishment. We're told that Tiggs achieved the second worst ending, so I guess maybe escape a little bit better next time? Touch my chest.
Touch it?
Yeah.
What?
Feel the letters?
Oh yeah, they're really raised up.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, none of my other shirts are like that.
No.
Just the San Francisco one is plastisol. All the other ones are direct to fabric.
Huh.
Don't know why they did that.
I blame America.
One thing about being off for several weeks is you have the wrong images up. So a lot of terrible CEO news this week.
Yeah, it was a bit of a theme. Mm-hmm. Worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I'm worried that that's eventually what this show will just turn into.
I mean, well, surely there's an inflection point. Hopefully. There's more to that Subnautica story as well.
There is.
Something that Paul was talking about earlier was that Crafton was like, this is why we fired them. And then before the court proceedings started, their lawyer was like, actually, we're updating the reason that we fired them. We fired them because they stole proprietary data.
Except that they stole all that data after they were informed that they'd been fired.
Yes. And we couldn't remember, I should look it up. We couldn't remember if it was the lawyer or the judge. It was basically like, that doesn't work causally.
Yeah, that violates causality.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot going on there. The Nvidia thing, of course, is terrifying, but it is really funny though that, I mean, obviously this was the whole you wrote the Subnautica thing.
Yes.
Cameron wrote the Nvidia thing because he just couldn't and I mean, I agree with it, couldn't get around the notion that, like, no one mentioned Enron.
Yeah.
They were like, boy, sure does seem a lot like Cisco. And then Nvidia was like,
What do you mean it's like Enron?
We're nothing like Enron. We're not hiding any fraud. And
Whoa, my dude.
Talk about protesting a little too much. I think it's very funny that it's like, oh yeah, this is a guy that Christian Bale played in a movie.
In the movie about shorting stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm only mildly concerned because Nvidia's chipsets are what's also in the Switch 2.
I mean, they're in a lot.
They're in a lot of things, absolutely.
You have a Switch 2, though.
I do have a Switch 2 already. But it's the idea of like continued development or operation of that company is also like, man, my company is tied to that company.
You saw that bubble map, right?
Yeah.
If that goes under, the whole thing's going to explode.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It didn't have to be like this.
Then Nelson did the story on Eminem in the Hitman game.
Yeah, which is just kind of like a fun little thing. That it's like, yeah, Eminem is good. He did an album called The Death of Slim Shady. I thought he was dead. I thought we took care of this, but oh well. I did the story about the Roblox CEO because that interview was just so weird. I love that the New York Times people were like, this was weird, right?
Yeah,
and then they showed it. You saw the pull quote, but when they were asking about Hindenburg Research, and he was like, "Fun, let's keep talking about this. You know they're out of business, right?"
Yeah,
it's like,
is that the fun part, David?
Yeah, and then they keep going before he gets to the answer, right? Of like, it's like, okay, sure. So they went out of business. Okay, yeah. I just want to make sure that you did your research
and that you're going to report on that.
I have done the research. Okay, well, what do you think about it? I'm asking you, and then he answers.
Jesus Christ.
Like he asks the interviewer, he's like, and what do you think about it? And the interviewer has to be like, I'm asking you the question.
I'm just surprised that in the interview that they weren't like, David, I'm going to be straight with you, that until we get a real answer out of you, I will continue to ask this question in different ways until we get to the end of our allotted hour. So I'm going to tell you that right now. Then if you can continue to give us answers that don't actually fully illustrate what's going on at Roblox, if you want. I want you to understand what that's going to look like and what's going to do this entire interview. So I'm asking again, are there child predators on Roblox, yes or no? And then you can see like, yes, we have had reports that has been the case. It's like, oh good, you can get past that point. It's so fucking easy to do.
There's so many ways he could have answered that and still not given any like real actionable stuff. But what he did do was not correct.
No.
Sorry, I know it's an unneeded side thing, but because he was like, so Hindenburg Research went out of business, and I actually hadn't heard that, so I went and looked, and like, oh yeah, they wrapped up in January, and I was reading the thing, and then that postscript of like, hey, if you're ever feeling like maybe you're not enough, give this a listen, and I was like, what is this, a Rickroll?
Yeah,
right? Like what is? I literally thought that it might be a Rickroll.
Yeah.
Like this helped me out at a really important time, and I click on it, and it's an hour and 46-minute EDM set, and I was like, oh my God. Okay, I was expecting a different CEO talking about sometime they took ayahuasca.
Oh,
right?
Sure.
Like I was assuming it would be some kind of like very like shallow reading on spirituality or something like that.
A very sheltered person all of a sudden had their third eye open for a briefest of seconds, and they realized they're like, oh, there's more to the world than just money. Did you know there's other people's money?
Yeah. I assumed it would be like a link to a TED Talk of a different executive who was like, I got hecked up in the desert once, and then now I can see through time.
Now I recycle.
But no, it was just like, oh, you're remembering a time when you were on drugs and went to an EDM festival. Yeah. And then Nelson also wrote the other one about Thomas the Tank Engine. And I just like the very direct quote from the guy being like, I don't consider CEOs people. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, there you go. Also, James wrote the Coming Up.
Yeah. It's a rare occurrence to have him kick in. He likes the show a lot.
He does.
He watches
Hello,
it every
James.
week. And for him to contribute, that's very cool to see that show.
Yeah, and that someone finally escaped from Tarkov.
Yeah.
Our long nightmare is over.
Speaking of nightmares, if you want to support this nightmare, you can do it at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. And you can also go to our store.loadingreadyrun.com and find us on our Twitch channels, but also here on the YouTube channel, LRR Videogames. You can become a member here, and that puts your name up after all the music is playing.
At the end of the video.
Yeah.
Speaking of further nightmares,
yes,
the Game Awards are next week.
Right.
And we have other stuff planned while they're airing because they air at a really awkward time. But no promises. We are hoping to still record at least a watch-along reaction that will go up on this YouTube channel. So keep an eye out for that. Oh, and this is The Undertaker from Night Rain. So now you can see what that joke was about. If you haven't already gone...
And Googled it or whatever.
Duck going
it, yes.
It's not as clean of a noun.
Look me up on Kagi.
What?
Kagi. It's a search engine, but you pay to belong to it.
Oh, yeah. I won't do that.
That's fair. You use Ecosia, and they plant trees.
Oh.
Whenever you search, they plant trees.
Okay, you're bringing me around.
Yeah.
Look, a lot of people I know earned a lot of money and muscles early in their university career by planting trees in northern BC.
Yeah. And they know the worst jokes.
Oh. Anyway, goodbye.
Another thing is that the moves? The news moves.
The moves, news, food.
Oh, God. Toot toot.